So after watching the Game Awards, and I had to force myself to watch the Game Awards. I'm not a big fan of pre-produced, overproduced, bloated, advertising-laden shows like the Game Awards. I much prefer to see new games, kind of like E3, but now it seems like E3 and the Game Awards sort of melded together, and we get these like awards given out but not really paid attention to, and then world premieres and things like that, and that's cool. This is what we have, so it's the only thing that I'm able to watch because that's all there is. But I want to talk about something that I found to be pretty, I don't want to say shocking, but it was something I'm not used to, and that's Xbox. I don't want to say dominating either, because I'm not looking to like make this an inflammatory video where people go crazy. I probably should do that because it's everyone's doing it and that's how you get views. I just hate making people angry in order to get them to watch, or stoking some division to get them to watch. But I do feel like Microsoft kind of dominated the Game Awards, Xbox in particular, and I was shocked because usually I'm used to seeing PlayStation, end a show with something amazing or have a presence that's much stronger than the one that they had. And I started to think about maybe some things are changing a little bit. Maybe that's good. I'm not saying that people are going to run out and buy Xbox over PlayStation. That's never going to happen. All around the world, people want PlayStation more than they want Xbox. That's not going to change. I'm just talking about me personally owning an Xbox. It was great to see old things get recognized, and new things completely and totally take me by surprise. So the first thing that I want to get out of the way is the games like Hi-Fi Rush, games like Forza Motorsport, they were recognized in a big way, right? Hi-Fi Rush won Best Audio Design, and there were some PlayStation games in the mix there. And Forza Motorsport won Most Accessibility, and Spider-Man 2 was right in there. And both of those games were recognized in a big way at the award show. But then, HellBlade 2. And I don't know if the game is going to be different. I don't know if you're going to have like a semi-open world exploration like a God of War. I hope that it's like that. I hope that I can move around a little bit more limber as Senua. Maybe jump and explore and solve puzzles. I don't know if they're changing the gameplay that much. I hope that they are. But what they showed looked absolutely amazing to me. I mean, the graphics looked photorealistic, looked incredible. The character models, the animation, the lip sync, everything just looked to be, a step way above most of the things that I've played this generation. Okay, and if it isn't, it's right there in the conversation. So I think this is clearly a game that's aimed at being like the AAA games in the console space, and we have to talk about Sony when we get to that point. I don't think that's a bad thing for them to push the bar forward and try and match or exceed that single-player AAA quality that Sony's used to, and I'm really excited by that. I thought it looked amazing. A lot of hype behind that game. A lot of people watched that and thought it looked amazing. But then, out of nowhere, Marvel and Blade, which to me is a much more interesting character for a game. So when you think about Blade, you think about Arcane Leon, and Arcane Leon is not the studio that did Redfall. Arcane Leon and Arcane Houston are two separate studios. They're not in the same building. They're not even in the same country. Arcane Leon did Deathloop and Dishonored. Think about the gameplay of Dishonored and the powers, the hiding and the warping above and below to different locations, the swordplay, the gunplay that's already there in those games, and then add in Blade and those vampiric abilities, the combat, the hand-to-hand, the guns, the sword, all of that stuff really is interesting when you think about a game built around Blade. And Microsoft and Xbox, they needed to get their own Marvel property because Spider-Man is just too huge. It drives sales of PlayStation consoles, especially around the holidays. And with a new Blade movie coming out, the tie-in with that in the game, could be huge. I know people are talking about exclusivity. Is it exclusive? Isn't it exclusive? They didn't put a logo. They didn't say this. They didn't say that. There could be a number of reasons why that is. It could be a contract isn't done yet. It could be they're going back and forth with the rights. It could be a number of things. And yes, it could be that the game isn't exclusive. But what is exclusive is the fact that Arcane Leon is a first-party Xbox studio. They're working on the game. It most certainly will be in Microsoft's Game Pass service. So if you're an Xbox owner, you're probably a Game Pass subscriber, because now it's like synonymous with being Xbox. I still don't know how I feel about that. I'm just putting it out there. You have an Xbox, you have Game Pass, you're going to get Blade day one. If it's somewhere else for $70, I don't know if that is going to hurt them that much. It doesn't seem like they really care about console sales. I don't agree with that, but that's where we are. I'm just talking about the idea behind them having their own IP, Marvel IP with Blade. I thought it looked interesting. Now, I don't know if that trailer leads us to believe that the actual art style and gameplay will look like that. But if it does, it's highly stylized, and it's probably going to be very, very interesting and very, very dark and bloody, set in Paris. So I was just surprised by it. I just didn't expect, Xbox to have a Marvel IP. Blade, and I'm not trying to get you to go crazy here. I'm all on board with Wolverine. It's Insomniac. They always knock it out of the park. No doubts there with Insomniac. But I feel like Blade is more interesting as a character in a video game, because there's a lot more you can do with that character. Wolverine, essentially you're fighting hand to hand with the blades, right? His claws, that's it. Blade's got, the vampiric abilities. He can jump really, really high. He can disappear into the darkness. He's got the hand-to-hand combat, the gunplay, the swords, just the cool factor. Can you imagine a really dark, dingy, dirty alley in Paris, France, smoke blowing through, really cool music undertone, and Blade walking down the alley and just fighting a bunch of vampires, watching them disintegrate as he shoots them with the bullets or the sword. There's just so much you can do, and then using that gameplay from Deathloop and Dishonored, warping up above, jumping back down. There's just so much more in terms of what you can do in a video game with Blade and that Deathloop Dishonored team. I'm not trying to say Wolverine's going to be bad. I'm just saying it's more interesting to me to see what Blade is going to be in a video game. I know Insomniac, I know Wolverine, going to be great, but I'm more interested now in Blade. And that's what shocked me about this show, is that I came out of it excited about Xbox, where I hadn't ever come out of a show in the last, I can't even remember, excited about Xbox. It's always some, here's a promise and it's under-delivered, like a Redfall. It's always, here's a couple indie games, or it's always, oh, we can do better, here's Crackdown 3. They seem to be sort of hitting a stride here and going into 2024. Things they didn't even talk about, like Fable, like Clockwork Revolution, like Avowed, State of Decay 3, those things are still coming, in addition to HellBlade 2, which again looked phenomenal, now Blade. So there's a lot of content coming that's very exciting, at least to me, and that's what I wanted to talk about and make this video. I felt that it was a great showing for Xbox at the Game Awards. I really do, and I'm excited about the games they showed. Maybe you are too. Let me know if you were excited about HellBlade 2, how it looked. Let me know if you were excited about HellBlade 2, how it looked, and let me know if you're excited about Blade, Marvel Blade teaming up with Xbox, Bethesda, Arcane Leon to make this game. Could be, should be, maybe exclusive to Xbox. Thanks for watching the video. Think about liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.